Hola, buenos dias, hello, good morning. This is Andrew Weston, resonating on all solar systems, planets, intelligence. So we're going through the galactic force, through the galactic's energy and its galactic core. So it's subsurface to the solar surface. So the galactic 7 is connecting its wires right now through its multidimensional Earth and its parallels and its paradox and its paradigms. So that paradigm shift is going through tremendous force right now. So, like I said, we're basically rebirthing the dimensional rounds through its parallels and different shapes. We're changing the communication lines and its frequencies through its harmonics and its balance. Everything is about balance. So, once we get that balance, then we can use that mechanism to control everything around its solar systems and its planets and its intelligence. So, humanity itself is going to feel a lot of tremendous wind force right now. The circulation and rotation, so that gravitational pull, as you guys are setting yourself in space. Space itself is going through its atmospheres, its energy, its oxygen, its voicing grids, its collaboration, relationship, and partnership. So you're getting used to all the particles, and basically you're getting a lot of space communication through the body and ecosystems right now. So that's what's happening with everybody. Because right now the energy is going to be more informative, more controllable, and more balanced through everybody. Um, Plus, like I said, anything that happens to me happens to you. So it's just transformation energy into you. So I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I appreciate all the subscribers and viewers. You guys are incredible with the galactic force, understanding how to use the force in, the force out. And like I said, when you're into the galactic force, it changes everything through its revolutions. Space itself and its continuum is on a tremendous high speed. Those wind cycles through its energy cycles, are going extremely fast right now because that polar shift, we're in a polar shift right now. So you have to get used to its diameters. You have to get used to its atmosphere through space. It's multidimensional. So today I'd like to talk about the multidimensional realms. Multidimensional realms are a continuous force of particles and energies through its consuming gases and fumes, everything through its atom theory, everything through its particles. The particles itself have its own separation through vibration and energy. Everything is communication through its energies. So basically, you're taking those DNA structures, those strands, you're separating them, and what happens is it comes together and it expands. It's like the atom, where it goes bang and it blows up. Well, it's a little bit different because you're using different waving lengths, and those waving lengths are connecting through dimensional realms, and those dimensional realms are going through parallels. And those parallels are basically like line blocks. It's like two walls connected. So basically, it's kind of like servicing like this. Okay, here's a wall. Okay, you got one here, right? And then you got another one here. So it's here and here. So basically, it's understanding the matrix grids, understanding what's in between. That's what a parallel is. It's the between of shapes through its dimensions. So everything is on its frequency, through its harmonics, through its balance. So once you break those codes and frequencies through dimensional realms, you can go through different galaxies. You can travel into space at a high altitude of speed through its velocity and acceleration. But remember not to go too fast because you can overload its system. So you have to understand, the time switch. I was telling you about that in my last video. The time switch is basically in the body capacitor, and that volumes everything through its ecosystem, and that ecosystem's connection through its coolants, and the coolants are connected through its heat sensors, and those heat sensors are solar mechanisms through the body and its force fields. So it has its flying mechanisms, and it goes to a certain altitude of speed through its vibration and its communication lines of its solar systems, planets, and intelligence. So that's what the higher self does. But as me, as the galactic self, every time I get up in the morning, I'm going through a tremendous force of energy. And that energy is, I'm just not dealing with, octave 7. I'm dealing with octave 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is me. But I stay on the ground formations and then the communication, telegraphing waves through radio signals. as the other 5 are in space, and basically centering around its synergy around its multi-universal, our Earth. So it's changing the vibration around, okay, through its voicing signals, okay, because your voice is extremely patterns, and those patterns are connection through numbers, and those numbers are connection through words, and those words are connection through letters, and those letters are connection through devices of communication, and that communication is connected through the matrix and its grids. So once you vocalize that, then you understand everything in its numbers through its matrix. I know it's complex and it's complicated, but when you get into the matrix, you're dealing with numbers. And the higher you go, like I said, you're breaking frequencies. The more you understand its vibration, the more you understand its multi-universe, the more you understand its parallels, the more you understand paradox, the more you understand galaxies. Now, I think I was also telling you too about the Infinity 8. That is extremely important because that's the synergy of energy of everything around its solar systems. And those connection wires are an extreme force through its communication lines of its 12 in its center. So there's a lot of intelligence in that figure 8. Like I said, to humans, just a figure 8. Now you're thinking of from infinity from here to here, but the diameters are just non-existent. There's no word that you can comprehend from one to another. So it's just one big question. And the reason why it's a question is because you keep going in a high altitude and it never stops. It has that continuous energy flow that's going through the reactors. And those reactors are going through its connection. Those connections are going through the chakra formations. The chakra formations are going through the crown chakra, and the crown chakra is going through the energized systems. So you got to polarize. You have to understand what mechanisms are. Mechanisms are part of the DNA structure. And it formalizes everything through its completeness of its systems. So that just gives you a little bit of background on what mechanisms are. You use a lot of that through its systems. And those energy systems are going through so much force right now. It's like I said, the polar shift is self-winding our shapes. And those shapes are going through its continuous force through its body and ecosystems. So those connection devices through its radio signals. And you're collecting so much patterns and you're changing so many wavelengths in the body. It's kind of like a ripple effect. So it's kind of the ground formation. You're getting communications with the ground and you're like, okay, so that's what you're going to feel right now. You have to feel the vibration. You have to get connected with Mother Gaia. You have to get connected with Father. So as they synchronize into one, they absorb its multi-universe and create a new one, a new vibration, a new balance, a new air. And you're not just rebirthing dimensional Earth or the dimensional realms. You're birthing space continuum and its atmosphere and its energies. So it's like you have something old, right? And you've had it for a very long time and you think it's time for a change. And you're saying, okay, great. So I'm going to go to the store and buy something new. So you decide either to throw those old things out or keep them for a rainy day, depending on how old they are, and wear the new ones. So it's basically upgrading your systems through your ecomedical systems, through your body, ecomedical systems, and your eco matter. So eco matter is connection through its space and its through its atmosphere, its energy, and its oxygen. So you can ask yourself how important it is to keep those old things. So you start fresh, you start new, you know? So that's what's happening through space continuum. It's rebirthing its line formations through everything, throughout its infinities of procreating of infinities. So I know, like I said, everything's getting a lot more complicated now. This channel is going to get a little bit more more controllable, more balanced, because all the synchronizing souls and three dimensionals and the light formations are feeling a lot more energy that's going into them, and they're understanding their chakra formations, they're understanding their higher self, they're understanding their breathing mechanisms, they're understanding definitive self, the inner and outer child. So questions or comments are great. You guys are amazing. I love helping you out and guiding you, and it's good to know that we can have each other, far as coming together as one. So anyway, that's pretty good. I'm gonna tap out for now, but I'm gonna head to Mexico City. I've got a big day ahead of me, and then I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll send up another upgrade through its energy cycles, through its systematical systems, through your body and ecosystems, and connect through another electronic device through its voicing grids and its communication lines and its radio signals. So I'll telegraph my waving patterns through my voicing grids to this channel for everybody to see through its upgrades and uplinks and uploads, because everything through its data processing is on a continuous force right now. So I'll keep in touch with you guys. Okay, this is Andy Weston, resonating all solar systems, planets, intelligence. Calling out. Adios.